recipient is Lisa Wainwright, Dean of Faculty and Professor of Art History, Theory, and Criticism.
Well, I have to start with what an amazing stage party. Wow. We have to recognize the power of our honorary doctorates, from the museum to the art gallery to the fashion runway to the music scene to performance art in the realm of painting. These individuals demonstrate the broad reach of art and design and the capacity to make culture matter for many audiences, from street culture to the ivory tower. This is democracy at its best. And this is what we do at SAIC. We educate cultural workers like you, like Albert Oudlin, like Janet Neiman, like Douglas Druitt, like Kanye West, like Rhona Hoffman. I am proud to stand here with you graduates today and with these honorary doctorates who represent a force of change, an aesthetic tidal wave of consciousness and beauty and empathy and education. What a stage party. Now, my real duty this afternoon, though, is to introduce Rhona Hoffman, and it is with great pleasure that I do so. Rhona Hoffman is a visionary gallerist, for she has an exquisite eye for art, that which is formally captivating, and she has a sharp mind, an informed mind for art that makes you think. Rhona is from the Bronx and cut her teeth on the art world of New York City. She studied art history and philosophy at Vassar, and then moved to Chicago in the late 50s. She started her career on various women's boards at the Art Institute, and then at the Museum of Contemporary Art, and in the museum store, and then became gallery director for Grace Hoken Gallery, before hooking up with Donald Young and opening up their major enterprise in 1976. Rhona split off from Donald Young in 1983 and opened the gallery we know so well here in Chicago, that the international art world knows so well, the Rhona Hoffman Gallery. So for about, what, 50 years? 40? Okay, 40. I'll take 40. 45, I'll say. 45, this remarkable woman has been assessing contemporary art and showcasing what she has concluded to be most relevant, most stimulating. And Rhona Hoffman's been spot on with this, impacting the art world and influencing young artists who consistently flock to her gallery. It's safe to say, for instance, that Rhona Hoffman first brought to Chicago minimalism and conceptual art, showing Sol LeWitt, Donald Judd, the Mangolds, Vito Acconci, Gordon Matta Clark, Bruce Nauman, and Gilbert and George. And this was very early in their careers, none of them are well known. But the collectors trusted Rhona, and they still do. They trusted her because first she would hypnotize them with her entrancing deep green eyes. Is this slide up? Yes. She has great eyes. You can see this in the slide. She would hypnotize them with her rich sense of the work as embodied idea. For this is not only a visual enterprise for Rhona, but an intellectual one. And Rhona can articulate an artist's position as good as any art historian, even David Getzey over there. Rhona Hoffman has always been a risk taker. In the 70s, she realized that women artists were doing the most interesting work, so she shunned the prevailing patriarchal drill and began to show women artists, and lots of them. Dara Birnbaum, and others. So exemplary was Rhona Hoffman in this regard that the activist group, the Guerrilla Girls, made Rhona an honorary gorilla in the 80s. Then Rhona did it again in terms of foregrounding the work of African American artists. She was really a pioneer in pushing forward the careers of Kehinde Wiley, Mickalene Thomas, Dominic Bay, Carrie Mae Weems, known for her straight-up, no bullshit opinion. She gets a lot of respect for this in a time of mystifying art jargon. She's irreverent. Don't sit next to her during a bad artist talk, or suddenly you will find yourself egged on to stand up and make a scene. Kanye is not the only one making public scenes. Rhona gets it out of this too. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, Rhona is irreverent, but it's deployed with purpose. She doesn't suffer fools, but she's extremely generous. Rhona Hoffman is very witty, very knowledgeable, and very elegant. She's brought to Chicago and the world a wealth of art with the hopes of, quote, trying to find our humanity, as she puts it. Thank you for that, Rhona. It is with great respect that we award Rhona Hoffman an honorary doctorate from the School of the Art Institute of Chicago.
Recognized for your work as a gallerist of contemporary art and for all you have done for both the Chicago arts community and the international art scene across your career. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Governors of the School of the Art Institute of Chicago and the Board of Trustees of the Art Institute of Chicago, I now confer upon you the degree Honorary Doctorate of Fine Arts.
Thank you isn't really enough, but that's the only word that comes to mind. Good afternoon to everybody. Lisa, thank you for cutting my speech in half. Faculty, distinguished guests, fellow honorees, friends and family, and congratulations to the school for graduating such a wonderful class. I am profoundly moved and excited by the honorary doctorate you are giving me today. It's actually something I never thought about in conjunction with my own life. When George Bernard Shaw once asked a speaker to limit his remarks to 15 minutes, the speaker responded, "How will I tell them everything I know in 15 minutes?" Speak very slowly. So rest easy, I got the message, and this will be a lot less than 15 minutes. Art and politics have always been my life, and I can't imagine what it would be without that. These are the crossed out ones. But as a gallerist, I was really very fortunate to be living in Chicago, where the legacy of art is great, and where collectors have always been collecting the most contemporary art of their lifetimes. I recently read Marcia Tucker's autobiography. For those of you who don't know who she was a brilliant art and artist-loving chief curator at the Whitney Museum in New York in the late 70s. Her support of young, relatively unknown or totally unknown artists often met with great trustee disapproval and distress. Her now iconic Richard Tuttle exhibition became the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, and she was fired. Terribly crushed, she nonetheless found her moxie and founded the new museum. So you can't always get what you want at the time. Life is rough and sometimes filled with rejections. You need courage, resilience, optimism, belief in yourself, and a lot of good luck. There are more art schools than ever before, and they graduate lots of men and women who wish to make art their life's work. Whether or not you remain in this world professionally, be fierce defenders of the issues you believe in, and stay within the art world as a participant. It is most often the very best and remaining part of every culture. Stay fierce, may all your wishes come true, and don't forget to have a good time.